DuPont analysis is where we're going to take your ROE and decompose it, try to explain your ROE as either a combo of three components, so a product of three components, or a product of five components. But before we do that, we probably need to remind ourselves what is ROE. So what is ROE? ROE is net income over average equity. And now I need to try and understand why this formula works. So this formula says ROE can be viewed as profit margin times asset turnover times leverage multiplier. Okay, why does this work, my friends? Well, profit margin is NI over sales. But ultimately, I need to end up with NI over equity. So here in the numerator, I'm going to have sales because I want sales to cancel out. But here in the denominator, I'm going to have assets because sales over assets is asset turnover. And then for the third component, I'm going to have assets in the numerator because, again, the goal is for assets to cancel out, for sales to cancel out. The goal is really for us to be only left with net income over equity. And here in the denominator, we have equity. So after all the cancellations, we'll be left with net income over equity. So let's just read it out. What are the three components? Well, this is my profit margin. This is my asset turnover. And this is my leverage multiplier. The five-component DuPont starts with OM, which is operating margin. Then you've got tax burden, interest burden, asset turnover, and again, you've got leverage multiplier. Notice the leverage multiplier and the asset turnover are as per the three-component DuPont, but what you're actually doing in the five-component DuPont is you're taking the profit margin and you're splitting it into three further subcomponents. Okay, well, the first subcomponent is the operating margin, which of course is EBIT over sales. Now, let's have a look at what's going to happen next. Now, this EBIT, we'll need to cancel it out because ultimately we are going to want to be left with NI in the numerator. So we're going to have an EBIT here, and here we can have an EBT. Then for the third component, we want to cancel the EBT, so we're going to put an EBT in the denominator and an NI in the numerator. So that's the NI that's going to be left after all the cancellations. Notice here the EBIT cancel, the EBT cancels. Now the next thing that we need to cancel out is the sales. So we're going to have sales over assets. And then the final one, we will have assets over equity. So again, let's check. Assets cancel out, sales cancel out, and we are left with net income over equity. So